Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the King and I Life podcast hosted by myself, Soul Extra Poet, and my co-host,
Son Soul X.
Hey, we gonna jump back to this topic of having children out of wedlock being the norm. Of course, you can hit us up, kingandI369@gmail.com. It's KINGANDEY369@gmail.com. Make sure you hit us up. And what else, man?
Yes, sir. And we just want to say thank you to the guys and ladies who have been giving us very positive feedback. We're just so glad that we can be there for you guys. I mean, give sound advice and talk about a lot of subjects that, you know, people want to hear talked about, you know. So, again, just thank you for the positive feedback.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So moving into the next point, why is the term bastard child still to this day such a harsh term? Like, I don't get it. People even use that term. Oh, you're a bastard child. I'm like, where do that fit in society now?
Do you think it's a hard term still?
Yep. People still use that term. I'm like, fuck out of here.
I don't know. I don't necessarily see it as a harsh term, maybe because I don't hear it as much as a harsh term, and I think that it has been wildly used, commercialized, and watered down, sort of like the N-word.
Yeah.
If you look at TV, music, and the such, the N-word is used so much that it just doesn't faze me anymore. Of course, there are certain segments of your life where you may hear it and you turn your head and you be like, really? Like, really? And it's no matter who is saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I look at the word bastard, I kind of feel the same way with it. You know, I remember the first times I was called a bastard by family. It didn't really strike me because I didn't know what the hell it meant.
Right.
When I found out what it meant, it kind of bothered me a little bit. Then as I grew up, it just became a word. And as I came further in life, it's like, all right. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, the thing about it is, any child that's technically born out of wedlock, people want to use that terminology. Me, I feel like, again, there's no place for it. Just like some will say there's no place for the N-word. Simply because you can't throw a damn rock and not hit someone who's been born out of wedlock nowadays. So, again, there's just no relevancy for that word or that term. I don't know. I think I have to agree with you. You know, the older I've gotten, the word never had any bearings on my life, directly. Or my father, again, was someone born out of wedlock. I can't say I ever held that conversation with him to see how he even felt about, you know, that terminology. But again, for anybody who do use that type of terminology, I think you're kind of ignorant. But we'll move on.
Oh man. Yeah, I think it's really just one of those things that, to me, in these days, or not even these days, depending on your maturity level, it's either going to bother you or it's not.
Right.
Depending on your surroundings, it's either going to bother you or it's not. If you are in a mentally and emotionally and physically abusive situation as a child, and you know what that word means, yes, it's going to bother you. It's seriously going to bother you.
Right.
But if you come to the conclusion of knowing oneself, you are in tune with your inner self and your third eye is open and you have all the confidence of you in the world, that word is just going to roll off your back like, okay, if that's what you think. I mean, for you to call me that means you ain't no better than me.
Exactly.
You know, especially if it's coming from a parent. It's like, who are you to call me that when you the bastard that brought me into this world? So, I mean,
Touche, man. Touche.
that's how I look at that. I mean, like seriously, you calling you wait, you calling me a bastard? Alright, bravo. I hope that got your rocks off or whatever.
So we kind of hit on this one a little bit, but why are women being congratulated for what some say is a sin?
We are in this. I was thinking about something earlier.
Okay.
It was unrelated, but it's related to this.
Right.
And I'm going to reference a previous episode and a sentiment that everybody has. When Miss Richardson got caught, when her test results for smoking weed came back positive, everybody had a problem with it. And everybody mentality, but it's just weed, and this shouldn't be, and this shouldn't be. So how I relate that to women being congratulated is, we in this society have a everyone should win mentality. And what I mean by that is, you do stupid shit, you do shit out of order, you do shit that just doesn't make sense. You do shit that has negative consequences, but you do it anyway. And because everybody is on this whole liberation, revolutionary mindset on stupid shit, they get congratulated for it. They get support for it. They get this, oh girl, you strong and this, that, and it's like, stop with this everybody wins mentality. Stop. No, you fucked up. You're wrong. You're not raising a child in an ideal situation. So, I think that's why some women are getting congratulated for it. As for the sin part, I don't give a shit about what one person or the other calls a goddamn sin. I just don't. But the thing about it is, there is a natural order to shit, and people are going against the natural order of shit. And that is why we are having so many goddamn problems. Stop celebrating the bullshit. Stop congratulating the shit. It's wrong in so many cases. That's my attitude about it.
All right. I have so many mixed emotions about this because, again, I have, younger cousins and I have nieces. And if one of them were to come up with a bun in the oven, as they say, I would be so disappointed. I would be, I can't lie, folks. I would be so disappointed. Now, would I condemn them for it? I can't condemn you for being human. I can't do that. I can't even go out of my way to express to you how, hurt I would be at that point. But I can't celebrate it. I'm not finna celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I think that when a young man or young female put themselves in that position, it's kind of like you're knocking your natural course of where you could have gone off the rails. So again, I'm not being mad at you about it. I'm being disappointed with you about it. Knock on wood, if either one of them came up with a situation like that, I would probably have some words for them, but it wouldn't be words of, you effed up, you did this, how could you do that, and all that. No, it's gonna be like, if I had to have that conversation, I'm like, baby, you young, people are people. This is a mistake that you made. So now that the mistake has been made, we have to make the necessary correction to try to get you as close to being on track as we can. And that's just how I feel about it. Again, I can't celebrate it, but the adjustments have to be made in order for you to continue to live up to what it is. Not only what I have, in my vision for you, but your vision of what you have for yourself.
You better than me. I'm disappointed. I'm gonna have choice words. I think the first thing that's gonna come out my mouth is, "What the fuck was you thinking about?" Because the thing about it is, raising a child is not fucking easy.
Hell no.
And when you are 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, you are just now really starting your life.
Yeah.
And for a lot of children out there in that age range who are just starting their lives, they don't really think that this is a serious issue. They don't, they could have friends who do this dumb shit, and they see that their friend is struggling, or know that their friend is struggling. They see that their friend can't hang the fuck out, can't go to college if they wanted to, has to get a job to take care of that child, has a whole bunch of drama with baby daddy or baby mama.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be pissed, and I'm going to have choice words, because I'm going to be like, how you going to take care of this child? And they're going to say one of three stupid ass things. The first thing is probably going to be, I don't know. The second thing they would say is, baby daddy got going to do this, that, and the other. Or, I'm going to stay home with my parents until I get on my feet. You weren't on your feet in the first place.
True that.
So you're going to say one of three stupid things. But I'm pretty sure there's like 15 other things that they can probably think of. But the whole point is, I'm going to be upset, and I'm going to have choice words, because it's so out there how not smart that is, and how much they commercialize the shit, that you should be like, you know what? I don't want no parts of that. What's that damn show on MTV.
16 and Pregnant or something like that.
That shit. So yes, I'm going to be disappointed. Like, why do you want to live that lifestyle? And let's bring it back real quick.
All right.
Because you see what they're doing on that show? They're getting paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
Paid for that. It means I look at that as trafficking. That's how I look at that.
Getting paid.
Legalized trafficking. And you want to tell me that you think that's going to be your life? A lot of them go through hell. A lot of it is scripted hell. But a lot of them go through hell. They're on TV. They're children. You see them arguing back and forth with their parents, this, that, and other. Let you think that you're going to argue with me like that. You're going to be laid out somewhere. And you're not going to like it. But yeah, I'm going to have choice words. I'm not. No, hell no. Mm-mm.
I mean, because of shows like that, I feel like they're, like you said, they're glamorizing it, right? They're basically getting paid because they made the wrong decision in life. For any child, and again I say child, who thinks that, because they get impregnated, they can get a show too, good luck with that. Because it's not gonna happen. I promise you it's not gonna happen. I don't know. It's just, it's crazy to think that because they glamorize it so much, that there are actually young people out here who think that situation is cool. They think that, well, they did it, I can do it too. One of those, are you serious? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
But is it foolish to raise a child without his father or mother for a young person?
For a young person, hell yeah. It's very foolish. I mean, because, babies been raising babies for centuries. But, here's the crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, that was the norm. People were having children at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, because, lifespans were a lot shorter back then. People were reaching the age of, if a person lived past 50, 60 years old, 40 in some time, eras, that was a wonderful thing. So with the advancement of science and medicine and all of this other stuff, people can have kids, much, much, much later in life.
Right.
But, back then, you was married 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. That goes with the arranged marriages and, giving your daughter away and this, that, and the other. So times have changed. And because times have changed and society has changed and economics has changed and mentalities have changed, and we see an influx in mental instability, emotional instability, let alone financial instability, it is not wise for a young person to even get pregnant. So it's definitely foolish to raise the child without a father. Now, when you look at people who are in our age group, for some of them, yes, it's foolish. And let's just look at the people who mid to late 20s, 30s. If you have not put yourself in a favorable position, why you already having kids?
Yeah. I know that someone young who's still living at home with their mom and dad having a child, that's very, very foolish. To anyone who I believe, who's having a child with the sole intention of doing it on their own, if you of age and you have the means, hey, do your thing. But I'm telling you, you're gonna kind of wish you had a little bit of help, meaning you had that other half of the partnership in your life right there. Because again, like we said, raising a child, that shit is not easy at all. I don't give a damn what age you at. And just because you got money, that still don't make it a whole hell of a lot easier. It's the time that you spend with that child, in preparation of trying to raise this child right. That shit is not an easy task. But when you have a child or a young person, again, still living at home, and they trying to raise this child, and they have basically boycotted the other person who helped them make this child, that part alone is foolish as hell. Because you're basically telling them, I got this. Whether you put their ass on child support or whatever the case may be, you're putting all of the weight on you. That makes no sense. It took two people to make this child, so why in the hell are you raising this child on your own out of spite? Damn that.
It's too many people out here cutting off their nose to spite their face, as they say.
Uh-huh.
And to piggyback on what you're saying, you got these jokers out here who make it a point to leave that other person out of the equation. It's like, at what point do you sit down and put your pride aside, or whatever you feeling that got you in your feeling right now?
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you put that aside and be like, I gotta think about this child. It can't be about me. It just can't be about me. But a lot of people they just do not want to. They don't want to get in the game. They don't want to get in the game and play ball for real. So it's like, that's why for me, I would be disappointed. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. I'm going to be disappointed because the problem is, especially when it comes to being foolish about this, is some of these people are doing it out of frustration.
Right.
And it's like I say to people a lot of times in certain situations, what are you mad for? What are you depressed about? You knew you doing certain things will put you in a certain situation and you chose to do it anyway. Why are you mad? You have no reason to be mad. And in order to justify their behavior, they want to take it out on somebody else instead of sitting back and be like, you know what? I messed up. Let me regroup and try to do things the right way. They just don't have the mental capacity to do it.
No. And the whole thing about it is, again, when you have one parent who's forcing the other parent out of the picture, again, you're putting all the weight on you. I don't give a damn about what kind of check you're getting. I don't care what kind of support you have as far as your mother or your father or sisters or brother, whatever the case may be. Again, you are still putting the majority of the weight on you when you did not create this child by yourself. So even though if you can't get along with the other person, don't deny them that role in that child's life. Because you are not only denying that child, getting to know their other parent, but with that lack of putting that part of the relationship or the responsibility onto that other person, again, you're basically setting them scot-free. To a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are basically letting their ass skate on the damn ice when you up here goddamn struggling and you don't have no goddamn skates. You got regular goddamn shoes and you trying to make it across goddamn pond and shit. Why? Take your ego out of it and bring that other person back into the equation so you guys can try to raise this child in the best way that you are capable of.
Pretty much. Man, we are starting to get into the thick of it with the conversation.
Oh yeah, we're getting deep now.
Yeah. Having children out of wedlock becoming a norm. This Continuing Our Life podcast was by myself, so touch the poetry, my brother.
Son, so Lex.
But hey, sit back, we'll be back with another segment. You know how to follow us.
For sure. KINGAN.